Hi there, Michael Eskin here. It's been a while since I've done a demo video of my stereoscopic photo tool, so I thought I'd go ahead and show you the latest features. And I'll be showing you both the Apple Spatial Photo version as well as the JPEG TIFF version. I'll put the link to both of these tools in the video description. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just open up a spatial file taken with your iPhone, and I'm going to open up one of these images that I took from the Birch Aquarium. So you have a variety of output formats that the tool can create. You can do side-by-side or a variety of color, red, cyan anaglyphs. And you can switch the stereo order from left to right, right left if you like. So if you're doing parallel or cross-eye viewing, you can choose your preference. By default, when you open up a file, it sets the output JPEG height to the height of that file. We'll go ahead and leave that alone for now. And for the side-by-side images, you can set a center crop. So I typically use things around 28% for all the images that I posted. And you can do things like rotate the image, for example. If the phone wasn't level, you may want to be able to, slightly tweak the rotation. And you have a couple of choices of the rotation maximum. Additionally, if you're looking at a left-right image, you can click this preview left-right flip. Turn that on. What this will do is it'll just alternate between the images, and you can set the flip rate right here with the slider, and then you can just turn it off if you like. And once you have the image set up the way you want, you just click Generate and Download JPEG, give it a name, it saves the file. I'll go ahead and open up that file. And you can see now we have the left-right image. Additionally, if you like to have borders on your stereoscopic images, there's a few options for borders here. So you can have wide borders or extra wide borders or no borders. So whatever you like. Additionally, if you just want to see the image full screen, when I move the mouse over the preview here, it gives you a little full screen icon. Click that. You can now see the image full screen. If you want to do an anaglyph, you can just pick one of the anaglyph formats like red, cyan, color. And then you can use this horizontal shift control here to align the red and cyan channels however you like for the maximum stereoscopic effect. And generally, you're going to want to wear your red cyan glasses while you do that. And like the side-by-side images, you can see these full screen as well. There are full instructions for the tool. Just click the instructions button at the bottom, and you can scroll through all this, and it will give you all the information on every feature in the tool. Additionally, in the instructions, there's a link here to the GitHub repository that contains the source code for the tool. So if you're a programmer, you want to add new features, change my defaults, whatever you like, just you can click on that link there, take you right to GitHub, and there's the source code for the entire tool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a side-by-side image here, and I'm going to have no cropping. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this out as a JPEG. So we're going to do this for left-right, and I'm going to just save out. This will be sort of a raw left-right image without any cropping, because I'm going to use that as input to show you the JPEG and TIFF tool. So this is the stereo JPEG TIFF version. It's very similar to the other tool for Apple Spatial, except this one allows you to open up a JPEG or a TIFF file in two formats. You can either have an image that already has composed with the left and right images in them, and it'll split it down the middle, take those as the left and right side, and you can use the stereo order to reverse them if you like. Or if you're using conventional cameras and you have two images, you can import those two images into this tool, or you can drag and drop them on the tool to bring them in, and it will then create them as the left and right images, and works pretty much exactly like the other tool. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring in that left and right image that I exported from the Apple Spatial tool, and you can see here that it's gone ahead and it's split it, and this is the left image and the right image here, and I can swap the order if I like. Everything here pretty much works like the other tool. The only thing that's different is that because the Apple Spatial photos, Apple does a really good job of aligning them vertically, but that may not be the case if you're doing this with, let's say, two cameras. So there's some additional controls available in this tool specifically for image alignment that really aren't necessary when you're working with Apple Spatial photos. So you can see here we have a vertical shift and a horizontal shift and an image rotation control. So for example, I can do some horizontal shift, but I can also shift them relative to each other vertically and rotate them. So between all three of those, probably you have, hopefully, what you need to be able to align images if you're taking them with a more conventional stereoscopic workflow. I'm going to just go ahead and just reset them. Everything else in here works exactly like the other tool. So we can, for example, if we want the left-right image, if we want to preview it, we can just click this button here and preview it with the left-right flipping. You can set the output JPEG image size. This is setting the height. It initially brings it in from the height of the incoming image. And just like the other one, we can go ahead and, for example, if we're doing side-by-side, we can go ahead and do a center crop like I did before, let's say 28%, and I can put a border on it, let's say a nice wide border, and then I can preview it full screen. And when I'm happy with the results, I can just generate and download the JPEG and save it out here, and then we'll go ahead and open it. And there you go, there's your parallel version of the image. If we want, we can then create the cross-eye version of it and go ahead and export that. So here's the cross-eye version. Or if you want the Anaglyph version, we'll just make this Anaglyph. And you can use this tool to reverse the left and right on incoming images. So in the Apple Spatial version, the left-right order is always the same. So there's really no need to ever swap them for an Anaglyph. But for example, if you're bringing in a cross-eyed image and you want to create an Anaglyph from it, you're going to want to go ahead and tell the tool to reverse the images before you create the Anaglyph. And then you can go ahead in the Anaglyph editor here, and we can just adjust the offsets for the vertical and the horizontal and the rotation and all that until we get everything lined up the way we want. And then we can go ahead and export that one. I'll open that version. This will be the Anaglyph, and you can see it has a black border on it as well. So there you go. Again, this is the Apple Spatial Photo to Side-by-Side or 3D Anaglyph tool. This is the Stereo, JPEG, or TIFF to Side-by-Side or 3D Anaglyph tool, and works pretty much like the other tool. And like the Apple Spatial version, at the very bottom, you can click this button, give you full instructions for the tool. So you might want to check that out. It describes every single feature and how they work. So anyway, I hope these tools are useful to you. Again, these are all completely open source and free. You can go to the GitHub site, you can download the code directly to your computer, you can run it locally on your computer if you like. There's nothing happening on a server. Everything that you saw in this demo is happening completely in the browser. I don't upload your photos to anywhere. They don't leave your computer. Everything is happening entirely inside of Chrome, Firefox, Safari, whatever browser you're using. So I hope these are useful to you, and I really hope you enjoy using them.